Hello. How's everybody doing? I wanted to pop on here real quick because it's been a little bit since I have connected with you guys, and I feel bad about that. Life has been really good, but really busy. Hello, hello, hello. So, I'm going to use my phone to kind of monitor the pauses in between because it's different on my computer versus when you watch on the phone. So it kind of keeps me right on track. Okay, how's everybody doing? I bet it is hot in Texas. Oh my goodness. We were there it was a year or two ago. Um, Adrian, my assistant, and I came up to Texas, and yeah, it was insane. Crazy hot. We thought it was hot here in Missouri, which makes sense. I mean, it's the South, right? So, I I get I get asked questions all the time, whether it's at events or during one-on-ones. Um, and I thought that I would, instead of just making this like a normal, hey, let's check in, give you some updates on what's coming up, I would answer some of your questions. Um, I'm more than happy to answer anything that I see come up on the feed over here, as long as I have enough time. But I picked out a few of the big questions that I get asked often, and was going to kind of address a couple of those. But before I do, I wanted to address a couple of other things. So, some of you may have noticed that I changed what I guess you would call maybe like your pin name or your stage name. For the last 4 years, I have went by the Missouri Medium, which was a name that served me well, and I loved it. But I just didn't feel like it really told you who I was or anything like that. So I have since made the transition to the uncensored medium, which is kind of a play on a couple different things. If you've seen my shows, you know exactly what it means. Um, I'm really kind of known for not holding it back, and occasionally there's that cuss word or seven that come up, and I just kind of feel like putting out there that I'm uncensored right off the bat just lets you know this is what to expect, and kind of takes a lot of pressure off of me coming out there when I get ready to explain to you how I work. So that's what changing the uncensored medium, or changing the Missouri medium name change was about. Just kind of hello from Columbia, hello from Missouri, hello from Hannibal. Okay. So that's what that was all about. And I thought that it would be best to just kind of talk about that real quick because I knew that there were a lot thank you, Christina. It's very confusing. I shouldn't say confusing. It's distracting to read some of these comments while I'm trying to talk to you. I'm sure you can imagine. I need to be better at it. Sometimes I say things that make me feel like that Miss North Carolina from years and years ago that was competing in the Miss USA pageant when they asked her a question, her answer. If you haven't seen that, you have to look it up. It's hilarious, but I totally feel for her. We've all been there. Okay, so July 24th, I have an event here in Hannibal, where I'm from, at my office, and it is called Wine and Tarot, and I'm super stoked about it because what's better than getting your tarot cards read and learning how to read them and also drinking wine? Nothing. So I think it's going to be super fun. Wine's included, so plan on a fun night there. August 9th, I have a mediumship event or a mediumship class here in Hannibal again. And for those of you that don't know, I moved my office from where it was last year to a little bit bigger building. So now I have an office in the back and I have like a studio in the front. So I'm able to do small mediumship events and then also teach classes in there. So it's super cool. And we just recently did a bunch of updates. So you will be able to see, new floors and stuff like that. August 21st, I am shooting for that being the next Columbia event. It was supposed to be, before COVID hit, and then over and over and over again, we keep rescheduling it. And it's been nonstop change for everybody. And leading into that, I have, that's another one of those questions. Well, didn't you see that coming? Well, I want to talk to you about that today. The last thing, update-wise or event-wise, that I want to talk to you about is Kansas City event. We are actually going to do 2 there this fall in this beautiful winery. And it will be September 4th and October 2nd. Tickets for the October event are almost sold out. It's super interesting, this winery. If you there's all kinds of neat history and different rooms that you can go in. They obviously have a bar, and you can even stay there if you want. We actually had a couple come down from Minnesota last time, and they stayed there and came to the event. So that was super neat. Okay, so let's talk about some of the questions that I keep getting asked over and over and over again. One of the biggest ones is kind of, your life must be amazing, or it must be super easy because you're a psychic, so you see everything that's coming, and, it's just wonderful, right? Well, while my life is unbelievably wonderful and amazing and perfect in my eyes, because I just think my life is amazing, it's a blessing, I don't just walk around plugged in all the time. There is a huge difference between a psychic and a medium. As a psychic, yes, I am usually plugged in and in tune for the most part. There are things, though, that happen all the time where I'm like, oh, I didn't see that coming. And I don't think that has anything to do with who I am and if I'm a good psychic or not. It's all about listening to your higher voice. 95% of us probably walk around listening to our ego, which is what we've grown up listening to. It's that fear thing that's inside of you that keeps you safe. If I say this or I do this, I'm going to look silly, so I'm not going to do it. That's what your ego says. So same thing happens with me. I let my ego take over, just like any other human, often, instead of listening to my higher voice, because it's quicker and it's easier. I don't have to work hard to access that part of my being. I can just go and just be. And so most of the time, that's what I'm doing. To turn it on and to sit down with you and to give you a reading, that takes work, whether I'm at a family gathering, or I'm in my office or at a store. It takes work to be able to do that, and where I'm at, my atmosphere plays a huge role in being able to read as a psychic or a medium. So, it's going to be much easier for me to read you in a quiet library versus in a loud store or whatever. And that goes for mediumistically. Psychically, I can usually, thank you, Ben. Psychically, I can usually pick up pretty quick on what you're about and what's going on and that type of thing. But, just because, a dentist can look at your mouth and say, hey, yeah, you have a cavity, while you're at the store, doesn't mean that he can sit down and drill on that tooth and make it better while you're in the store. It's kind of the same mentality. And you're going to see that I compare my career to a lot of other professional careers. And I'm hoping that allows you to understand kind of how I work. But, so yeah, I get asked all the time, aren't you plugged in? Do you see my dead grandma? Do you see this? Do you see that? If I'm not in my office, I don't really want to work. And like I said, it doesn't just come supernatural. It doesn't just flow in. There's a process that I go through, and there is certain things that need to be done for me in order to be able to hone in on you and give you my assessment. And I hold my craft, my career, my skill up very high. And so I don't want to be giving you advice or whatever it is in passing and risk that being wrong, when if I would have done it properly and sat down with you, it would have been more accurate. So if that kind of gives you an idea there of how this works for me, then I have succeeded. Uh, do you ever, like, the other day I was getting my nails done and I was looking down at the nail tech, and she's sitting here making my nails nice and pretty, and I look down at hers and hers aren't done at all. They're not manicured. They're nothing. They really, I was kind of surprised at looking at her nails. And then I got to thinking, isn't that how it works? You know, so many of us have this career, we have this profession, and what we do is we exhaust ourselves to make sure that everybody else around us is taken care of. If what we have to do to make money is to do this career, then we do that first. And at the end of the day, we're usually the last to be able to tend to. We don't tend to ourselves until the end of the day of that, if we're not too tired. And it's the same way with me. And it's even harder with me because I have two small children. I'm a single mom with two small kids, and so when my mind isn't with my children, or work, it can come to me, but it's so rare because it just seems like I go all the time. So we don't sit here and read ourselves. It's not going to turn out well. People say that all the time. They're like, well, do you read yourself? Well, yeah, I give myself tarot readings here and there, but I really rely more on signs. So I'll just kind of put it out there to the universe. Hey, I need an answer on this, this, and this, and I want to see this, and this happen, and it always ends up working, and I always end up getting my answers. So, but I also have a psychic that I go to, an incredible one, who I absolutely love and cherish. I have several of them, actually. When you're a psychic and you have a bunch of psychic friends, it's great because you can be like, hey, pull me a card, or hey, what are you feeling for me right now energetically? And you can get a good answer from them. And so, just kind of keep in mind that that's how it works. When you're a psychic, you're not always flipped on. As a medium, you're hardly ever flipped on, and you're usually taking care of yourself last. So if you're thinking, well, let's say something were to happen with me where I should have seen it coming, and it gets blasted on Facebook, hey, Britney won't be doing this because this and this and this happened, or even these events, that we've been planning and haven't been able to do, we have to keep rescheduling them. I'm not plugged into every little teeny tiny thing that might happen. I go about life like everybody else, and if I want to know something, I'll put in the effort. But for the most part, I just live normally like everybody else. So let's see here. The other thing, I want to make sure that I don't have any. Thank you, Rosemary. Rosemary's my neighbor, everybody. She lives across the street. Okay, so my next thing is, and I get asked this like probably second to how did you know that you could do this? This is, are you Christian? Do you believe in God? Do you believe in Jesus Christ? I'm going to first answer that this way. Do you believe in hell? Do you believe in demons? Because I get asked that a lot. So in the years that I've done this, I have never had a spirit come to me and say, hi, I'm so-and-so from hell. It's just never happened. And I've done, I think I was counting a couple weeks ago, almost 6,000 readings. I'm at 5,007 something. So in over 5,000 times of connecting with spirit, I have never, ever had someone tell me they were from hell. I've never even made any type of sign or signal or connection that would make me think that this person is from hell. Do I believe in demons? my Christian faith from years and years ago, what I followed would have me believe, yes, they would have me believe in demons. But and you can call me silly or crazy or whatever it is you want. This is just me. I will not go there. I will not allow myself to go into a negative realm. Now, some of my best friends in the entire world, one of my best friends today just messaged me and said, "I'm getting ready to do a demon um, exorcism or something like that, where she was removing a demon or something dark, a dark entity from somebody." And to me, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I cannot imagine having to do that, exposing yourself to that. But it works for her. She does incredible things, and I do wholeheartedly believe in what she is doing. It's just I won't go there. I won't allow my mind to go there. I won't allow my body to go there. I don't want anything negative anywhere near me. Okay. Um, so there's my answer there. I'm not saying that I don't believe in them. I'm just saying I'm not going to put them in my reality. I'm not going to put them there in my life by talking about it. Okay. Um, as for being Christian, do I believe in God? That type of thing. So I kind of break that down by the Bible. Christian religion is largely based on the book, and I have began to just take the Bible for what it is, which is a book that was written thousands of years ago by men in a different time and a different era. With different set of rules and a completely different civilization and society. So things were so unbelievably different back then when this book was written. And I think it's kind of hard because we're trying to apply those same laws to us, today, in today's society, which is crazy different, right? The Bible for me, it's can be contradictory at sometimes. And the other thing is, I find it hard to worship something that, makes polygamy and, slavery this great thing. It puts that up there and it says that it's okay in the Bible, but when it comes to gay and lesbian relationships or mediums or psychic ability people being prophets, it's for the most part there are some good things about prophets in there, but it's not looked at well. And I feel like there's a lot of fear there. I don't believe that the God that I believe in would allow us to be ruled by fear nonstop. And so that's kind of my answer. It's not that I don't believe in God, because I do, but I will tell you that my God is an open, accepting, loving man that doesn't rule with fear. I believe in Jesus Christ as an incredible ascended master. He did some amazing, amazing things, and he is definitely somebody that I would look up to, like all of us. So, I think it's important that you kind of understand where I sit here. Because for a long time I really kept it a secret. I didn't really keep it a secret, but I just didn't talk about my religious beliefs or whatever it was. And so there it is. That's what I believe. And I believe that anybody can just, decide and pick what it is that they want to believe in and go from there. If Christianity is what it is and it's where it's at for you, do it. Buddhism, whatever it is, spirituality, maybe you want to blend a couple of them. That's okay. You can do that. Nobody's going to say you can't do that. So more power to you. Let's see. I think that pretty much wraps up a lot of the questions that I get. Tanya, do you ever just walk past someone and boom, there's a message for them? Absolutely. Yeah, that does happen. I say that it takes a very strong spirit to get my attention when I'm not working, but that doesn't mean there aren't strong spirits out there. The hard part for me becomes, do I actually say something to this person, or do I just walk away even though that spirit tried to get a message through to them? 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to say anything, because it's not a good ethics. You don't know where that person is at in the grieving process. You don't know if that person is accepting of messages from the other side. Maybe it's completely against what their religious beliefs are. And then you may have them questioning, well, where is my loved one? Why would they do that? That they never would have done that. So, and you also don't want to be giving mediums everywhere a bad name. So, know and understand that if you ever get a message from me when we're out and about randomly, it is going to be, for me, it's going to be a very serious, important thing. I do not take it lightly at all. Okay, Anita, my suggestion to you would be that we have a reading, like a private one-on-one. I think that would be best. And I want to let you know that I'm sorry for your loss. Okay. Have you ever come across anything? Have you come across anything do you fold or really scary? I think what you're trying to ask me is, have I ever come across anything that really scares me? And yes, there has been a couple of times where I've interviewed. Well, for me, it would be considered an interview. A serial killer on the other side. That was something I don't really care to do again. I probably would because of my love for true crime, but it did. It made me uncomfortable. And even then, he didn't say, hey, I'm so and so from hell. It was the feeling that I got from him and the things that he had done. Because as a medium, you begin to take on spirit, right? So while I'm channeling this guy, I feel like I'm becoming him in a way, and I didn't like that. There was early on in my career, there was a little boy who had died in a very tragic accident. He was accidentally shot, and I found out that they show you children, just like, children here today will have no filter. If you want to know something, ask a child. They'll be honest with you. Same thing with them over there. So, and I didn't even consider that. And so when I asked this child how he passed, he showed me everything. Unlike the adults that I had, channeled, they kind of keep the passing or the actual death or how it happens. They kind of blur it a little bit for me. He didn't. He gave me absolutely every detail and held nothing back, and that was very graphic, and that scared me a little bit. But other than that, those are the only two things that I've ever really. There was one other time at the Missouri State Penitentiary. I went for a tour with my assistant and Chris and Chris Dolbear, and there was somebody else there. But anyways, we went to this Missouri penitentiary. It's supposed to be one of the oldest around. And what I saw was something that I hadn't seen since I was a little kid. They called them peepers there. I call them shadow people. But when I would say 10 to 14 or 15, every night there would be like a shadow person that would kind of almost like, it was like they were looking in to check on me in my bedroom. And I saw this as a young kid. And then, as soon as 13 hit, I never saw it again and thought that was, looking back, I think that's so bizarre. But it scared the hell out of me as a little kid. And I saw them when we were at the Missouri State Penitentiary. So, hey, if you're looking to be scared or freaked out or whatever, go check that place out because it got to this medium. Okay. Thank you, Liz. Those are my babies. Okay, I'm looking to see if there's any questions that I didn't get to, and it looks like I think I got everybody answered, I hope. Yes, so reincarnation, Dayton, are you asking me about it? I do believe in reincarnation 100%, only because I have my own experiences with it. And I'll be the first to tell you that I was a total skeptic when I got my first psychic reading. I was that asshole that most of us, know that went in and got their tarot cards read or whatever, and he blew me away. Um, so I'm one of those people that I have to experience it before I can believe it, which kind of goes against manifestation, but that's a whole nother thing. As far as reincarnation goes, yes, I'm a total believer in it. Um, I'm not an expert by any means. I think that just like with dreams, it's all our own experience, and we kind of have to wade through it and interpret it in our own way. But oh man, I could tell you some reincarnation stories that would really surprise you. And there's some really good books out there about it too. Um, but yeah, I cannot tell you how much I believe in reincarnation. Obviously, okay. If you're interested, because I don't want to take up the whole live reading one of my reincarnation stories, there is one on my blog, mymomthemedium.com, and you can read that one. I think it's the one about Salem. So it's a pretty interesting, or it may be under How Did You Know, one of those. But yeah, you can go check that out there. Okay, let's see. I think I got everybody answered. How do you cleanse yourself? Okay, you said I begin to, great question, Liz. As far as cleansing myself goes, there are several different things that I do. One of the biggest is probably the most popular and the one that everybody knows, and that is Erica. That is, it's going to be using sage. It's called smudging. You can get, I sell sticks of sage. You can get them on Amazon, anywhere. I use white California sage, and I have a, like a little prayer or whatever you want to call it that I say with it. And I think that it really helps. Like I said, I am the last person that's about woohoo stuff. Like, it's got to work. And it does, or I wouldn't waste my time doing it. So I smudge. And a lot of it goes into protecting yourself before you go in. So it's not so much cleansing when you come out, but just making sure that you're protected when you go in to read anybody. And I do that by saying a prayer to Archangel Michael. So there's that. Erica, your question is hilarious. COVID, that's an excellent thing for us to talk about, to use it as an example. One of my good friends asked me at the very beginning of COVID, when do you think this will go away? And my thought process was end of April, early May. And I didn't think about it. I didn't, do a reading for it. I didn't get in touch with myself, and really it was just a quick, hey, this is what I think. Well, here we are, in July almost, and it's still a big thing. While most places opened up in late May, early June, I still wouldn't say that was 100% correct. So, I will be the first to admit when I'm wrong, and I think there's a lot of different things that go on there too. You asked me, what do you think is going to happen with COVID? Are you nervous? Are you scared? Well, no, I'm not scared at all. I wasn't nervous at all. Is that because me and my children aren't going to get it and I feel good about that? I feel safe, so I'm not worried, and so that's why I say that? Or is it because, I don't feel like any of my family or friends are going to be affected by it? Is it because I believe that, I'm kind of on the whole side of, it's here. There's nothing we can do about it other than create a vaccine, which I hope that happens. I'm a very accepting person when it comes to certain things like that. So there's just so many different reasons as to why I don't feel like it's such a huge thing, while it's costing our economy and our government tons of money. And I feel terrible about that. And it hit me hard too, financially. Maybe it's not within me to worry about it. And a lot of times you'll see me get asked questions on stage about health. How do you think so-and-so is? Or can you tell me about the health of my aunt or my uncle? I'm almost always going to tell you I stay away from anything medical. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm not a medical medium. I don't want to tell you anything. That's not just so that I don't get sued, but it's also because it's just not my forte. It just isn't. I have a lot of different niches, but medical isn't one of them. Um, yes, I do wear a mask, Liz, to pick up my children. But when it comes to anything else, no, I don't. I don't wear a mask. But I'm really not out a whole lot either. Running to the store and every now and then go out for dinner here and there. But no, I don't. And Liz, I think you're from Illinois, if I remember right. So that's another thing. We're in a state that has Missouri has way fewer cases than states like Illinois, Florida, California, New York. So that could be another thing too. I don't know, but you know, just wasn't huge, wasn't super, super scared of it. I have a compromised immune system, so that's another thing. Thank you, Aunt Megan. That is my Aunt Megan that just said that. There are a few, people out there that disagree with me and about the whole, not wearing a mask or whatever. I would say it's probably 50-50 in the US. But yeah, I bet you're not. I'm sorry, Liz. Okay, so I think that I got everybody asked. Let me double check over here. I think I got everybody. Okay, so I'm going to hop off here. I'm going to go get my babies. I hope that you enjoyed this live. I miss you guys so stinking much. I cannot even tell you how bad I miss doing events. And I didn't, that saying, you don't know what you got till it's gone. That's what's happening is, I always loved it. I always counted on it. It was always great. But, and really the only way that it's affected me is, it's hurt money-wise, obviously. But that's not what I do this. So I still get to do private readings with you guys and stuff, but there is nothing like getting to connect with, 20 or 40 or 100 people and bring spirit through, and all of us just be able to feel that. And I miss it so bad, you don't even know. So July 10th is the first event, a mediumship event I've had since March 10th. I'm kind of a little bit nervous. I'm sure it's just like riding a bike. You hop back on and it comes natural to you. But I don't know that I would be very good at hopping on a bike right now. I don't know if I could ride it. Anyways, I think it's going to go fantastic. Everything will be fine. I'm super psyched about getting up there again, and I miss you guys, and I hope to see you out there again soon. All right. Thank you so much. I love you. Bye-bye.